Chapter 61. The tables had turned. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 61. The tables had turned. Even Bei's bullying of Bei Qingqing along with other classmates had been exposed. The netizens had even released the video from that time. In an instant, the comments section was filled with people scolding Bei and Chen Jingji for trying to exploit the situation. No way, no way. How can a woman be so shameless? I'm really sick of looking at her. +1, and that man. He thinks he's the son of the Chen family, so he goes around doing whatever he wants. The netizens' comments increased, directly affecting the company's image. In just one night, the company's stock price plummeted, which made all the shareholders very dissatisfied. They directly put this pressure on Chen Tianfeng. At the shareholders' meeting, they said that they wanted Chen Tianfeng to redeem himself as soon as possible, or they would withdraw the shares. Chen Tianfeng was threatened by the shareholders, but he did not know anything about the things on the internet. Now, no matter how they explained it to the outside world, Chen Jingji's dirt could not be washed clean. He was also helpless. With no other choice, Chen Tianfeng put down his ego and asked for Chen Jiaji's opinion. After all, Chen Jiaji was the one with the most ideas and was very good at dealing with these matters. You can't just sit by and do nothing about the company's matters, right? Quickly think of a way to deal with your brother's matter. Chen Tianfeng said anxiously. However, Chen Jiaji was not in a hurry. After all, he had the ability to save the company, so he was not in a hurry at all. It's actually very simple to settle this matter. But it depends on whether you are willing to part with it or not, said Chen Jiaji indifferently. Hurry up and say it. The company has already in a crisis. What's there to be reluctant about? The shareholders were very anxious. After all, it was their money that was at stake. Chen Jiaji said indifferently, a very simple method is to announce to the public that they will strip Chen Jingji of his inheritance rights so that this matter will have the least impact on the company. After all, the netizens are targeting Chen Jingji, not our company. Chen Tianfeng was shocked and said angrily, how can this work? How can you say something like this? Chen Jiaji spread his hands, indicating that he had given his opinion. Whether he was willing to do it or not was not his business. Chen Tianfeng could not bear it. After all, Chen Jingji was his son, and he was his most beloved son. However, the shareholders did not care about Chen Tianfeng's emotions. They felt that this was a very appropriate way to handle the matter and requested Chen Tianfeng to carry it out immediately. Although Chen Tianfeng could not bear it, the shareholders had already spoken, and the voting result was unanimous. There was no other way, so Chen Tianfeng could only respond according to Chen Jiaji's wishes. He apologized on the company's official website and the company's public account. He then announced that he would revoke Chen Jingji's right to inherit the group. This matter quickly exploded on the internet, and the netizens' attacks on the company turned into praise. This made the shareholders very satisfied, and they praised Chen Jiaji's ability even more. When Chen Jingji, who was injured at home, heard this news, he was on the verge of breaking down. He panicked and immediately realized the seriousness of the matter. When Chen Jingji returned home, he immediately pleaded with Chen Tianfeng. After all, he could still take care of his broken leg. If he lost the right to inherit, then there would be nothing left. Chen Jingji quickly pleaded with Chen Tianfeng, hoping that he could be forgiven. He would definitely change. You made this mess. What can I do? Chen Tianfeng was also helpless. Chapter 62. Losing inheritance. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 62. Losing inheritance. Chen Tianfeng told Chen Jingji that the shareholders had unanimously approved this matter. If he did not do as he was told, then the shareholders would all withdraw their shares. Chen Jingji was very flustered, but he also knew his position in Chen Tianfeng's heart. So Chen Tianfeng pretended to be pitiful and said, I can understand your difficulties, father. I don't blame you for this. It was my brother's suggestion at the shareholders' meeting, and you had no choice. I know I must have done a lot of things to offend my brother recently, so he wants to take this opportunity to take revenge on me. Chen Tianfeng listened to Chen Jingji's words and felt that it was very reasonable. After all, at the shareholders' meeting today, Chen Jiaji did not give him any face at all. The method he proposed was to help the company tide over the difficult times, but this method did not rule out that he was deliberately fighting for the right to inherit. The more Chen Tianfeng thought about it, the angrier he got. He said, "What about you? Why don't you restrain yourself for a while? As long as you restrain yourself for some time. When these netizens forget about this matter, I won't give you a single cent less." "Thank you, father. I will definitely hold back." Chen Jingji was relieved. Seeing Chen Tianfeng leave, Chen Jingji finally let out a sigh of relief. He thought about all the things that happened, and they were caused by Bei Bei. Chen Jingji felt his anger burning. He immediately called Bei Bei and scolded angrily, "You unlucky woman, what are you trying to do? It's all your fault for giving me such a bad idea. If it wasn't for my intelligence and quick action, this inheritance right would have been taken away by my father long ago." Bei Bei was also very flustered. When she saw the news, it was just a pity that Chen Jingji, such a good chess piece, was gone. However, she unexpectedly discovered that she was pregnant. Bei Bei knew that if Chen Jingji did not have the right to inherit, then this child must not be kept. However, if she could use this child as a bargaining chip, she believed that Chen Jingji would also listen to her. As long as she helped Chen Jingji get rid of Chen Jiaji and Bei Qingqing, then she could also marry into the Chen family because of this child. Even if she did not marry Chen Jiaji, it did not matter. Thus, Bei Bei resisted the dissatisfaction in her heart and said kindly, "Don't be so angry. Everything I do is for your own good. Think about how shrewd Chen Jiaji is. Even if your father promised to give you the right to inherit this time, can you guarantee that there won't be any accidents in the future? Will Chen Jiaji just lay down and let you inherit the family business? It's impossible. That's why I have to make plans for you. Isn't this also for our future?" Bei Bei spoke gently. Chen Jingji, who was already unstable, heard her words and his heart began to waver. Bei Bei continued, "Believe me, I won't harm you. As long as we can work together, we'll definitely have a way to take down Chen Jiaji. When that time comes, without Chen Jiaji, won't the Chen family's huge business be yours alone?" The more Chen Jingji listened, the more he felt that it made sense. As long as Chen Jiaji was around, his position would be affected for a day. Only when Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji were completely gone could he feel at ease. At this time, Chen Jingji was already overwhelmed by anger and hatred. He immediately agreed to work together with Bei Bei to deal with Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji. However, on the other side, Bei Qingqing was completely unaware of these things. She was surrounded by reporters today, and although she successfully returned home, she also suffered some minor injuries. This made Chen Jiaji very distressed. Chapter 63. Paper Tiger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 63. Paper Tiger. This damn Chen Jingji. If it weren't for him, how could you be so seriously injured? Chen Jiaji said angrily. Bei Qingqing's face turned black. Although she was a little touched, she was still a little speechless. After all, she did not need to go to the hospital for such a small injury, so it was not a big deal. "It's okay. It's just a small scratch. Don't worry so much. What could possibly happen to me?" Bei Qingqing said optimistically. "How can that be? It's the humid season. What if the wound gets infected by water? How serious is that?" Chen Jiaji said anxiously. Then, he asked Da Xiang to bring the small medicine box. "Don't move. I'll apply some medicine for you. You'll recover faster this way," Chen Jiaji said with a heartache. Then, he took out the disinfectant alcohol from the small medicine box. The alcohol touched the wound, causing Bei Qingqing to frown in pain. However, she did not make a sound because Chen Jiaji was already worried enough. If she cried out in pain again, it would only make Chen Jiaji even more worried. Therefore, she endured the pain and only clenched her teeth gently. Bei Qingqing looked at Chen Jiaji seriously applying medicine for her. She felt a warm feeling in her heart. This was the first time she was being taken care of like this. Although it was not a big wound, she was still very touched. After Chen Jiaji helped her with the medicine, he sighed, "You're too stupid. Don't go to school for the time being. Let's wait until we get through this. If you believe that you have something else you like to do, I can invest in it for you. Let's do something else first." Bei Qingqing felt that it made sense. Although her reputation on the internet had improved, there would definitely be a lot of people waiting for her to make a mistake again. When the time came, it would definitely have an impact on her life and studies. Therefore, it was better to do something that she wanted to do at home first. It was not a waste of time. Bei Qingqing thought for a moment and said seriously, "I like drawing very much. Why don't I stay at home and learn my skills?" Chen Jiaji nodded and said seriously, "If you need a male model, you can look for me. I have a very good figure." After saying that, he was about to take off his shirt. Bei Qingqing hurriedly held his hand. It was still daytime, so how could she do such a thing? Although she felt that Chen Jiaji was ridiculous, it was because Chen Jiaji was by her side that her mood was much better. Bei Qingqing looked at Chen Jiaji's handsome face and felt sweet in her heart. She could not help but kiss Chen Jiaji's forehead and said softly, "Thank you. You're so nice." Maybe it was because Bei Qingqing's action was too sudden, or maybe it was because the kiss was too gentle. Suddenly, Chen Jiaji's face turned red. Bei Qingqing felt that it was very funny. He had just said that he wanted to be her model, but his face had already turned red. She did not expect him to be a paper tiger. Soon, it was the day of the banquet. This banquet was a very grand event for the entire Chen family, so everything was arranged according to the highest standards. Regarding Bei Qingqing's gown, Chen Jiaji had already arranged for more than 10 pieces to be sent over so that she could look through them one by one and choose from them. Bei Qingqing's eyes were dazzled by so many high-quality dresses, but she still chose a slightly simpler style. However, although it was relatively simple compared to the other dresses, it was still very extravagant. Chapter 64. He wanted to kiss her. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 64. He wanted to kiss her. After choosing the dress, Chen Jiaji also invited the best makeup team in the city. This team used to be specialized in serving top celebrities. Bei Qingqing felt a little flattered, but after seeing the other party's warm attitude, she slowly relaxed. A professional team worked very quickly. Half an hour later, Bei Qingqing had already put on exquisite makeup. She changed into the shiny dress and carefully looked at herself in front of the mirror to see if there was anything inappropriate. Just then, Chen Jiaji pushed the door open and entered. He was stunned on the spot. The woman in front of her was really beautiful, and she seemed to be slowly glowing. The simple design on her body made her figure appear even more curvaceous and graceful. "Why are you here?" Only then did Chen Jiaji retract his surprised gaze, and then said indifferently, "My mom asked me to send you a necklace." This necklace was specially bought by Li Yilan for Bei Qingqing. It was limited to only one necklace in the whole country. It was also reserved for Li Yilan by the brand for the sake of the Chen family's status and face. At that time, many popular celebrities wanted to buy it, but they did not get the chance. "How can I wear such an expensive necklace?" Bei Qingqing quickly refused. Chen Jiaji moved closer to her side and hung the necklace around her neck from the back. He whispered in her ear, "You are the wife of our Chen family. What's wrong with you?" After Chen Jiaji put the necklace on properly, he smelled the fragrance of Bei Qingqing's body. He kissed her in a moment of confusion. "Oh. No," Bei Qingqing was about to refuse when Chen Jiaji kissed her. She gradually relaxed and let him move between her lips. After more than 10 minutes, Chen Jiaji finally let go of Bei Qingqing, who was gasping for breath. Bei Qingqing looked at the lipstick in the mirror that had been kissed by Chen Jiaji and became shy. I already said I don't want it. Look, I have to put on makeup again, Bei Qingqing complained. Just as Chen Jiaji was about to kiss her again, there was a knock on the door. Young madam, have you put on your makeup yet? You're going to the banquet soon, Ah Xiang urged from outside. Ah, I'll be done soon. Bei Qingqing replied and gently pushed away Chen Jiaji who was causing trouble. She reapplied her makeup. After the two of them cleaned up, they could be considered a beautiful couple. Chen Jiaji looked at Bei Qingqing's serious look and could only suppress his desire to kiss her again. After a period of rehabilitation, Chen Jiaji's body was much better than before. Now it was quite effective and he could stand up. He said that he still needed to use a cane, otherwise, his center of gravity would still be a little unstable. Bei Qingqing stood beside Chen Jiaji, slightly providing some support as the two of them arrived at the banquet venue. Outside the banquet venue, Bei Qingqing had just gotten off the car when she saw a crowd surrounding a person in the distance. When she focused her eyes, she saw that it was Lu Yao who was also attending the banquet. Due to Lu Yao's extremely high popularity, the reporters had already surrounded her until she could not escape. However, as Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji got out of the car, their eyes were immediately attracted to her. Lu Yao was no exception. When she saw Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji's intimate support, she felt a little unhappy. She walked up with a smile and greeted Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji. Long time no see. You look especially beautiful today, Lu Yao said with a smile. Bei Qingqing was startled as she had thought that Lu Yao hated her. Why did she praise her now? Chapter 65. Don't. The gown will wrinkle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 65. Don't. The gown will wrinkle. As expected, before Bei Qingqing could react, Lu Yao said with a faint smile, the last time I went to Brother Jiaji's house, I was blind. I actually thought you were Brother Jiaji's servant. I'm really sorry. As soon as she said this, the reporter instantly burst into laughter. That makes sense. After all, Miss Lu is so elegant and noble. I'm sure she has never seen anyone's wife dressed so simply. Yeah, I wonder how messy it would be to be treated as a servant. The reporters in the crowd discussed in low voices, occasionally snickering. This made Bei Qingqing feel very awkward. She originally thought that Lu Yao wanted to be on good terms with her today, but she did not expect her to still be so eccentric. The atmosphere made it difficult for Bei Qingqing to raise her head. She really wanted to find a hole in the ground and quickly hide in it. Hearing the laughter of these people, Chen Jiaji's face immediately turned cold. He did not pursue the matter that happened in the Chen family last time because he had considered many years of friendship. However, he did not expect that she would actually dare to hurt his wife's face on such an important occasion. Chen Jiaji raised his eyes and squinted at Lu Yao, saying coldly, I haven't seen you for a few years. I didn't expect that you were blind. If you don't need your eyes, you can donate them to people who need them. The reporters were stunned for a moment. They did not expect that Chen Jiaji, who had always been like an iceberg, would be so good at criticizing others. Then, they burst into laughter again. One had to know that the famous pianist was criticized. She was criticized by her childhood sweetheart. Such a topic could be on the hot searches list for a whole day. Ahem, Brother Jiaji, that was a good joke. Lu Yao could not hold it in anymore. However, with so many cameras shooting at her face, she could not lose her temper, so she could only hold in her embarrassment and smile. Bei Qingqing was also very happy to see Chen Jiaji help her fight against Lu Yao. Thinking of Chen Jiaji's poisonous tongue, she almost could not hold back her laughter. Then, the reporters invited Bei Qingqing and Chen Jiaji to take some photos at the door. Chen Jiaji had hoped to recover this time, and Bei Qingqing's identity was publicized in a high-profile way, so he did not refuse. He wrapped his arms around Bei Qingqing's waist and cooperated with the reporters to take photos of their love. Lu Yao's face was almost green from watching from the side. After taking the photos, Chen Jiaji and Bei Qingqing entered the main hall of the banquet. The reporters could not enter through the door, and there were no cameras inside. Bei Qingqing could not hold it in any more and burst out laughing. "You were really mean just now. I've never seen a man insult people like this." The more Bei Qingqing thought about it, the more she found it funny. Chen Jiaji looked at Bei Qingqing's happy face and could not help but want to tease her, so he gently pinched her butt. The sudden action startled Bei Qingqing. She quickly made sure that no one around her saw Chen Jiaji's hooligan action. "You pinched my skirt," Bei Qingqing complained coquettishly. L.RG Chen Jiaji suddenly came close to Bei Qingqing's ear and said softly, "Then I'll compensate you with a new one later." Chen Jiaji's warm breath reached Bei Qingqing's neck, making her blush and take a step back. Chen Jiaji could not help but laugh when he saw her shy look. "Big brother, sister.in.law, you're here." Bei Bei and Chen Jingji came over and interrupted their intimate interaction. Chen Jiaji's face darkened like summer weather. Chapter 66. He wanted her. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 66. He wanted her. What's the matter? If you have nothing to do, stay away from us. Can't you see that your sister.in.law and I are talking? Chen Jiaji narrowed his eyes and his face was livid. He did not expect these two people to come to the banquet. He planned to kick them out immediately if there was even the slightest abnormality. If they were willing to stay here obediently, it would be fine. After all, today was Bei Qingqing's big day. He did not like a little scandal to affect this occasion. On the other side, Bei Qingqing was also very surprised. She did not expect the two of them to get together. Looking at the two of them walking together intimately, it could be seen that the relationship between the two of them was not shallow. Bei Qingqing sneered in his heart. What a rotten pot with a broken lid. Chen Jingji cursed in his heart, but he still had to smile apologetically on his face. Big brother, don't be so angry. No matter what, we are blood brothers. In the past, I already knew that I was wrong. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have made my sister.in.law angry over and over again. I won't do it again in the future. I definitely won't do anything harmful to both of you. Please believe me, Chen Jingji said sincerely and solemnly to Chen Jiaji. Chen Jiaji snorted coldly and did not respond. A villain like Chen Jingji was not worthy of his attention. He would never trust a person who did something wrong again. Bei Bei, who was beside him, was also very surprised to see Chen Jiaji standing up. Chen Jiaji had a very handsome face, and now that he stood up, he looked even more valiant and domineering. He was simply the Prince Charming in her heart. Chen Jiaji held on to Bei Qingqing's arm. He did not even look at the two of them before walking straight to the center of the banquet. So handsome. Only a man like this can be called a real man. Bei Bei could not help but sigh. However, when she saw Bei Qingqing beside Chen Jiaji, she could not help but hate her. Her heart was filled with jealousy and hatred. This position should have been hers, but now, Bei Qingqing was like a dove occupying a magpie's nest. If Bei Qingqing had not occupied Chen Jiaji, then she would have taken the position long ago. The more Bei Bei thought about it, the angrier she got. Her fingers clenched so tightly that they turned white. You like that trash so much, why didn't you marry him back then? Chen Jingji looked at Bei Bei's infatuated gaze and felt displeased. No matter what, he had already slept with her, and she was his woman. It's a woman's nature to like handsome men. Don't I have the right to admire them? Bei Bei retorted Chen Jingji unhappily. Now that she had seen Chen Jiaji, she felt even more disgusted with Chen Jingji. Not only was he not as handsome as Chen Jiaji, but his figure was also not as good as Chen Jiaji's. The more he looked at her, the more useless he became. Chen Jingji was also very unhappy because he found that Bei Qingqing was much more beautiful than Bei Bei. It was such a pity that he almost got Bei Qingqing back then. That trash Chen Jiaji is really lucky. Every woman wants to pounce on him. But this Bei Qingqing is really beautiful today. Her figure is so graceful that I can't help it. Chen Jingji looked at Bei Qingqing's back, and he had already started to fantasize about her. Looking at Chen Jingji, Bei Bei suddenly had a plan. She flatteringly said to Chen Jingji, "If you want to get Bei Qingqing, I can help you. You have any ideas?" Chen Jingji's eyes lit up. Even if he could not get her heart, he had to get her body. As long as he got Bei Qingqing's body, Chen Jiaji would definitely break down. Chapter 67. Revealing her identity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 67. Revealing her identity. Bei Bei smiled faintly and whispered into Chen Jingji's ear, "Of course I have an idea, but don't be anxious. Wait for my good news." Chen Jingji gave Bei Bei a meaningful look. After a while, he realized that Bei Bei's hatred for Bei Qingqing was far deeper than his own. As long as he left these matters to Bei Bei, there would naturally be no problems. Chen Jingji smiled and said indifferently, "Good. Then I'll look forward to your good news." After saying that, he did not forget to touch Bei Bei's face. Although Bei Bei despised Chen Jingji in her heart, he was, after all, the Chen family's second young master. So, she still had a smile on her face. However, in her heart, she began to secretly calculate how to get Bei Qingqing to fall into her trap. After Bei Qingqing was taken by Chen Jingji, she did not believe that Chen Jiaji would still want a dirty woman. By then, the entire Chen family would belong to her, Bei Bei. On the other side, Bei Qingqing was still obediently following behind Chen Jiaji, meeting his friends. One of them was Gu Yunhai, who had helped her a lot last time. "This is my wife, Bei Qingqing." Chen Jiaji introduced Bei Qingqing's identity to everyone. Although Bei Qingqing was a little embarrassed, she still maintained the utmost courtesy to greet these people. One of them sized up Bei Qingqing, then said with a smile, "I didn't expect that our young master Chen would be picked up by someone like you. You're really a lucky person." When this person spoke, his tone was a little playful. He had long heard that Chen Jiaji's wife was a substitute. He had also seen a lot of dirt about Bei Qingqing on the internet, so he did not have a good impression of Bei Qingqing at all. Instead, he thought that she must have used some means to marry Chen Jiaji. When Chen Jiaji heard this, he said with some displeasure, "If you want to talk about picking up scraps, I'm the one who picked up scraps. After all, it's my fortune to marry such a good girl like Qingqing." When Bei Qingqing heard this, she also felt very uncomfortable. It was clear from the words that he looked down on her and deliberately put her in a difficult position. Although the other party was Chen Jiaji's friend, he should not be so excessive. She could not help but retort, "Yeah, I also didn't expect our Jiaji to have a friend like you by his side. I don't know what kind of scraps you picked up, but you're really a lucky person." The man's face immediately darkened. He wanted to say something, but Gu Yunhai stopped him. "Everyone is very lucky to have met Jiaji. It's a wonderful thing for us to change from strangers to friends." Gu Yunhai quickly tried to smooth things over, and the atmosphere between the few of them eased up a little. This also left a good impression on Bei Qingqing. Not long after, the sound of a microphone being adjusted came from the stage. Li Yilan was dressed up and stood on the stage, holding the microphone in her hand. She slowly said, "Today, we have gathered all our relatives and friends here to announce an important matter. That is, our Chen family's daughter-in-law is Bei Qingqing. She is not only Jiaji's wife but also our Chen family's great benefactor." As soon as these words were said, they were completely stunned. Waves of discussions broke out below. No one had expected that the eldest young master of the Chen family would actually wake up from his coma. They also did not expect that the Chen family would actually find such an ordinary woman to be their daughter-in-law. The people who had just ridiculed Bei Qingqing also began to have a lingering fear. After all, the power of the Chen family was not something they could afford to provoke. If they offended the young lady of the Chen family, if she held a grudge, they would be finished. Chapter 68. The most important thing was to get rid of Bei Qingqing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 68. The most important thing was to get rid of Bei Qingqing. Bei was standing in the distance. When she heard this, she was completely stunned. She clenched her fingers and gritted her teeth as she glared at Bei Qingqing. When she had attended the banquet, she had only known that the banquet was to celebrate Qin Jiaji's sobriety. She had never thought that the banquet would be held to announce Bei Qingqing's identity. She was unwilling to accept it. This position should have belonged to her. It was Bei Qingqing who took it all away. At the same time, Bei also began to regret it. If she had known that Qin Jiaji would actually wake up on the wedding day, then she definitely would not have given this opportunity to Bei Qingqing. However, it was too late to say anything now. Her priority was to think of a way to squeeze Bei Qingqing out. Chen Jingji was also gnashing his teeth in hatred. He did not expect his mother to give this woman so much face. In order to announce this woman's identity, she spent a lot of money to hold such a luxurious banquet. This made him even more dissatisfied. Chen Jingji coldly glanced in the direction of Qin Jiaji and Bei Qingqing and snorted. Bei Qingqing, who was in the center of attention, was a little flustered, but she still looked calm on the surface. After all, she was representing the Chen family as their daughter-in-law. If she panicked now, others would secretly make fun of the Chen family. So, Bei Qingqing raised the wine glass in her hand and signaled to her mother-in-law on the stage. Seeing Bei Qingqing's unperturbed appearance, Li Yilan liked her daughter-in-law even more. After announcing this matter, the banquet began as usual. During this period, there were people constantly carrying wine glasses in the direction of Qin Jiaji and Bei Qingqing. The two of them were like the focus of the crowd. No matter where they went, they would be surrounded by the guests. In order to give face to the Chen family, Bei Qingqing had a smile on her face. She calmly faced the people who wanted to toast to her. However, after seeing more and more people, Bei Qingqing also felt a little tired. Qin Jiaji immediately saw that Bei Qingqing was tired, but he could understand it. After all, Bei Qingqing had never been to such an occasion before, so it was inevitable that he would feel a little uncomfortable. "I'm sorry, let's leave for a moment." Qin Jiaji put down the wine glass in his hand and grabbed Bei Qingqing's hand. He pulled her out of the venue. The people were left on the spot. They looked at each other, not knowing how to react. After leaving the venue, Qin Jiaji pressed the elevator button and brought Bei Qingqing to the top floor. "What are you doing? There are still so many people waiting for us in the venue," she asked in confusion. After all, she and Qin Jiaji were the main characters of today's banquet. If the main characters were not in the venue, it would not be good to talk about it. However, Qin Jiaji said indifferently, "Aren't you feeling unwell? I'll bring you up here to relax." Bei Qingqing's heart warmed. It turned out that he had noticed her little reaction. Bei Qingqing was very touched and did not say anything more. Standing on the top floor, Bei Qingqing felt the cool breeze. The tiredness from earlier was no longer there. All that was left was peace, and her heart quickly became very calm. The breeze blew her hair, and Qin Jiaji looked at her quietly from the side. He thought that Bei Qingqing was very beautiful from this angle. She was like a proud and aloof fairy, mesmerizing. Qin Jiaji slowly walked to her side and took out a small box from his pocket. "Qingqing, I have something to tell you," Qin Jiaji said softly. Bei Qingqing slowly turned around and looked at him with confusion. Chapter 69. Being secretly photographed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 69. Being secretly photographed at this moment, Chen Jiaji suddenly knelt down on one knee and opened the small box. Inside was a diamond ring the size of a pigeon egg. Qingqing, are you willing to marry me and become my wife? From the bits and pieces of time I spent with you, I have fallen deeply in love with you. I swear that I will treat you seriously for the rest of my life. You will be the only one in my heart. From now on, you will be the young lady of our Chen family, and I will definitely take care of you. Chen Jiaji said with embarrassment. He had rehearsed this sentence many times. Originally, according to his personality, he was ashamed to say these words, but he wanted to give Bei Qingqing a sense of ritual that a girl should have. So, even if he was shy, he still wanted Bei Qingqing to hear these words. Bei Qingqing was very surprised. She did not expect Chen Jiaji to propose today. She also did not expect him to buy such a big ring. Bei Qingqing was so surprised that she could not say anything. She was stunned for a long time before she slowly asked, "When did you buy this ring? How come I don't know about it?" Although Chen Jiaji felt that her reaction was a little strange, he still said honestly, "I've already ordered it in advance. It's only been 2 days since it was sent over." Bei Qingqing nodded. She felt that Chen Jiaji's words were definitely true. After all, she had only seen such a big diamond ring on television before. It definitely had to be custom-made. This diamond is so big. Won't it look very conspicuous if I wear it? Isn't it heavy? Bei Qingqing asked doubtfully. Chen Jiaji thought for a moment and said, "It should be fine. If you usually think it's too heavy, I'll buy you a smaller one." Bei Qingqing continued, "Then can I return this ring? Isn't it more convenient for us to buy a small ring? It seems that diamond rings don't keep their value, right? It can't be returned. This is a custom-made design. How can it be returned?" Chen Jiaji could not help but frown when he heard Bei Qingqing's questions getting more and more ridiculous. That's such a waste. Such a big diamond ring only acts as a decoration. We are a new family, and in the future, we still have to uphold the concept of frugality and thrift, Bei Qingqing sighed. After all, she would not wear this diamond in the future because it was too ostentatious and did not suit her personality. "No, I'm proposing now. Now is not the time to talk about these things. Just answer me whether you agree or not." Chen Jiaji did not know whether to laugh or cry. No matter how he looked at it, other women on the internet were very touched when they were proposed to, but his wife actually asked so many strange questions. Bei Qingqing was also very speechless. She had clearly been married for so long, so why did he suddenly want to propose again? Thus, she said in a flirtatious manner, "Haven't I already married you? Why do you still have to ask?" Chen Jiaji felt like he was going to die of anger from Bei Qingqing. He had secretly prepared for so long behind her back and even rehearsed for so long to confess and propose. In the end, she was actually so casual about it. The more Chen Jiaji thought about it, the angrier he got, mixed with some grievance. He stood up in an instant. He hugged Bei Qingqing's waist and kissed her in an instant, taking the opportunity to put the proposal ring on her hand. Bei Qingqing did not react for a moment and was a little flustered. Suddenly, a flash of light appeared in Bei Qingqing's eyes. It turned out that there were still reporters squatting in the building next door. Chapter 70. She took the initiative to kiss Chen Jiaji. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 70. She took the initiative to kiss Chen Jiaji. Chen Jiaji did not expect the dedication of these reporters. This sudden flash made Chen Jiaji very dissatisfied. Not only was he dissatisfied that the reporter had interrupted his intimate moment with Bei Qingqing, but he was also dissatisfied that these lights had flashed into Bei Qingqing's eyes. Therefore, Chen Jiaji took off his suit jacket and covered Bei Qingqing's face. Bei Qingqing did not react. She also did not expect that the reporters would see her kissing Chen Jiaji and take photos of her. She would be so shy if this got out. However, Chen Jiaji covered her face and put his arms around her waist as he said in a low voice, "Let your hubby show you the princess hug." Then, he held Bei Qingqing in his arms and planned to carry her away like a princess. However, as he had just woken up, he was still in the rehabilitation stage, and he had been socializing for a long time today. Therefore, his strength was very limited. After getting down to carry Bei Qingqing, he realized that he could not pick her up at all, and his face instantly turned dark. Bei Qingqing was still in a daze at first. She felt Chen Jiaji holding her with all his strength. Only then did she finally come to her senses. For a moment, Bei Qingqing could not help but laugh out loud. She did not expect such an embarrassing thing to happen to Chen Jiaji. However, she could understand. After all, Chen Jiaji's health was not very good right now. It was not a shameful thing to not be able to carry her. Seeing Bei Qingqing laugh out loud, Chen Jiaji looked at her helplessly. He pinched her but in dissatisfaction and asked with a dark face, "Are you looking for trouble?" Bei Qingqing looked at his dark expression and raised her head. She deliberately said, "Yes, what are you going to do?" When Bei Qingqing raised her head, her body lines became even more beautiful. Chen Jiaji looked at her in admiration and sighed, "This gown really shows off your figure." Looking at Chen Jiaji's eyes, Bei Qingqing suddenly thought of that afternoon when Chen Jiaji said that he would pay for her clothes later. She actually had some bold ideas in her mind. Therefore, she took the initiative to put her arm around Chen Jiaji's neck and said in a sweet voice, "Really? I'm so tired. I want to go back. How about we go back?" After saying that, she locked her gaze with him. Chen Jiaji could not help but swallow his saliva. This ambiguous action and words made him dizzy. He felt as if his entire body was floating in the air. He took the opportunity to hug Bei Qingqing. He gently approached her and asked, "What are we doing after we get back?" Bei Qingqing did not know if it was because she had drunk alcohol, but when she saw Chen Jiaji like this, she felt very hot. It was as if a ball of fire was surging out of her. She did not say anything. Instead, she stood on her tiptoes and gently leaned over to kiss Chen Jiaji's lips. Sometimes, words could not express 1,000th of the feelings in one's heart. Only actions could answer for her. This kiss had already answered everything that Chen Jiaji wanted to know. The moment Chen Jiaji was kissed by Bei Qingqing, he was stunned for a moment. His brain buzzed. He looked at the woman in front of him who gently closed her eyes, and he knew that she was asking for something in return. Chen Jiaji felt that he could not stand it anymore. He could not restrain himself any longer.